What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Little Sauce Core, the one who never knows best, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys again about Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. You guys have been loving these discussion videos and conversations and whatnot, and this isn't exactly that. It's more of like a deep dive or breakdown or analysis of some kind, although most of the work has already been done for me. I'm kind of just here to give you guys my thoughts and my opinions on it because, as you all know, several days ago now, I want to say 4 or 5 days ago, we had the PlayStation State of Play, and at that event we got a brand new gameplay trailer for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, where we also got the reveal of 3 new characters in Wolverine, Magic, and Danger, as well as some insight as to what the game's going to offer content-wise for the season passes and DLC. We know that we're going to get 4 new characters, a stage, as well as costumes. That was confirmed. That's exciting. You know what I mean? And we got a little bit of information from the devs as well. And in this trailer, not only did we get brand new characters, but there are also some noteworthy gameplay changes to take note of. That's noteworthy to take note of. Yeah, redundant ass nigga. There are some gameplay changes that I didn't notice at first glance that a lot of you guys have at this point, whether it was through Twitch chat or Twitter or YouTube comments, whatever. And people were asking me to make a video covering it and give my thoughts and opinions and talk about it. And also some of you guys just might not have seen this yet. So I figured we would jump into it today because, as you know, before the State of Play, I made a video talking about, my criticisms of the problems that I had with Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. Now, to reiterate, just to make it clear, I want to like this game. I have high hopes for this game. My expectations aren't sky high, but my hopes are, I want this to be my new main fighting game, and I think it has a lot of potential, and I just hope that it lives up to said potential. But I spoke about how there were certain things such as the assist calling and some of the tagging and how it felt clunky at times. And, I just had some gripes with it. I was like, if they could change this a little bit and just kind of make things a little bit less homogenous, a little bit more open, a little bit more fluid, I'd probably like the game a lot more and think it would be a lot more fun. Well, it seems like they've actually addressed some of those things exactly. So let's go ahead and get the trailer opened up and dive into some of this stuff, shall we? So the first thing I actually want to take a look at is the tagging speed, because I feel like multiple people have said that tagging is now faster in the game. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know if that's true. So here we have the trailer, right? We see Storm, and then this is where we get the reveal for Magic, right? Coming in right about here. And then she tags into Magic. So I saw Maximilian's video. I didn't have to go back that far. I saw Maximilian's video where he actually, counted the frames. And when Wolverine swapped into Danger, it seemed pretty quick. But when Storm calls Magic here, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's that fast. So what we're going to do is we're actually also going to go frame by frame. What I'm going to do is I'm going to count from the first frame where the actual soul transfer starts, where it shows up on screen, which is right here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 frames for it to actually get to her, and then 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 32 frames before we actually even see her move or show that the soul transfer has completed, right? And this was apparently people just felt like the tagging was faster, which I would love that. I feel like that would help the game be more fluid. But then if we take a look over here, a random Justin Wong video, here I have it paused right before the same thing happens. And if we just take a look here and go frame by frame. So right here, frame 1, I just realized I'm not on camera, but it doesn't matter. So frame 1, right? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So it really doesn't seem like it's any faster than 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So it seems like it's about exactly the same. And also, this isn't the most scientific way of doing this. This isn't necessarily the best way to do this, but just from my POV, it doesn't seem like the tagging is actually any faster. I also don't know if tag speed is the same across the board in all situations, no matter what. When you're tagging via an assist or just in neutral, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if tag speed is always the same. So if any of you guys do have that information, feel free to let me know. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't really seem like it's any faster. If we do want to take a look forward and show the part where Wolverine swaps into Danger, that one seemed a little bit faster, but again, I don't know, it just makes me then think, because again, me just using the comma and period keys on YouTube and trying to go frame by frame, that's not really the best way of going about things. But if we want to do it here as well, This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, before the soul actually gets her. And she's even moving before that, and then 25, 26, 27, 28. It's hard to tell exactly like when the player gets control of her actually, because she's already like moving again before the soul even gets to her. So like this one does seem like it's a little bit faster, but again, like I don't really know if that's like a situational thing or if it's just like the way the animation, like I don't know, like it's hard to see. If it is faster, I'm in favor of that. I'm just not necessarily convinced by this trailer that it is indeed actually faster. But you guys can let me know how you feel about that one in particular in the comments down below. The next thing that I actually want to take a look at is the assist calling itself, because assist calling is something that we can definitively say has changed. So if you take a look here at Danger's gameplay, you'll see that she actually ends up calling an assist in the middle of her combo that she does here on Iron Man, and she calls Storm Assist. Now it goes by very quick. It's easy to miss. But if we go ahead and pause right about here, you see she's called Storm Assist, right? She's called Storm Assist. You know, we have the technology to play this back slower. So probably go even slower than that actually. So you see she actually gets the tornado assist. Now the way it worked before is that when you would call assist during combos and block strings and stuff, you would always get like this generic like kind of tackle or lariat style assist. And that was one of my like criticisms of the game, is that it just felt like it was like overly homogenized in that sense. It kind of made things feel a lot more limited. It didn't allow for as much player expression or creativity. And you know, in some sense, like it kind of helps with like, I guess, team comps where you don't really have to worry about synergy and you can just play whatever characters you want and it just works. But I don't know, like I said, I personally just felt like that was kind of lame and kind of boring. Well, now it looks like they've changed it to where you can actually get the character specific assist as opposed to just the generic one, which I think is a huge change. I think that will open up the game a lot, make things feel more free, like more fun, honestly, just more interesting. So that is something that we can clearly see plain as day, and I'm pretty excited about that. The next thing that we can go ahead and take a look at is that in this trailer, you actually saw that we have a team super. Now, I wasn't sure in real time back when the trailer first dropped whether or not this was just like clever editing or actually a thing, but it looks like you're actually going to get specific team supers. So this is obviously the Unbreakable X-Men team. So you've got Magic, Wolverine, Storm, and Danger, and they get this super sick team ultimate. My question is this going to be limited to just the 5 or so in-game teams? Yeah, it's 5 teams, right? They show them here. Well, not the teams themselves, but we have all assumed that I'll get past it. This right here, right? We've all assumed that this is a clear indication that these are going to be the captains of the 5 teams. So Captain America, Spider-Man, Doctor Doom, and Ghost Rider are also going to have their individual teams. And I wonder if Team Supers will be limited to like you playing these in-game canon teams, or if any combination of characters can have a team ultimate. I'm fine with it either way. You know what I'm saying? I guess it would be exciting if you could do it with any team, but also if they save it for, you know, these specific canon teams, I wouldn't be mad at that either. I feel like that makes perfect sense. As for who the teams are going to be, I've considered making a roster video, and I want to, and you guys let me know if you want to see me do this, but I'm just not as informed. Like I don't read comics, so I don't know that much. Like I have some general ideas. I've watched some other people's videos and streams and heard them talk about it, and I had my chat help me compile a list of different characters that they'd like to see in the game, or that they think could work in this game, and things of that nature. So like, you know, this is probably going to be Avengers, Spider-Man. You can do like Young Avengers or Spidey and Friends or something like that, like Midnight Suns. Like, so like, I've learned a little bit over the last several days since this trailer came out, because I am interested in making a roster video. I'm just not super confident in it because I'm not a big comic book head, so I don't really know how well I would be able to deliver something like that for a game like this. Anyway, the next thing I actually want to check out is something else that I'm not totally sold on, and that is combo length. I've seen people saying that it feels like combos are going to be longer in this game because of this clip right here of Wolverine. Not this clip, but the next clip. Okay, no, the next clip. Here we go, right here. So you see Wolverine is doing a bunch of hits in this combo, and people are saying that, you know, just because of the amount of hits he's able to do and how little like the combo like meter is going down, that it seems like, you know, combos are going to be more open and you just can do better ones. I'm personally not convinced on that, because what this looks like to me more than anything else is that Wolverine is just going to be a character where a lot of his moves, a lot of his specials and his normals are just going to be multi-hitting. I think that's all this really is. And I could be wrong, you know what I mean? I could be wrong, but Wolverine just seems like he's going to have a bunch of moves and specials that are just multi-hitting. And that's just why he's just going to be a character where his combos are just on average just going to have more hits than other characters. That's what this looks like to me. I could be wrong, and if I am wrong about that, I would love to be wrong about that, because if we just can get cooler combos I'm here for that. You know, performing combos is one of the most fun parts about fighting games for a lot of people, myself included. I like pulling off cool, crazy combos. You know what I'm saying? Who doesn't? And this is a game unlike Tekken where the combo length, I think people would be able to digest that a lot more. I know some people would have an issue with it, but you know, this is another one of those things like the tag speed where, you know, once we're able to play the game again, maybe we'll actually see for sure, but I would put money on it's just Wolverine having a higher combo count than combos themselves are just, you know, adjusted, at least based off this, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Wolverine is a good candidate to judge that for, you know what I mean? There's another clip I want to take a look at though in here, and it's when we get back to Danger. So once again, it's something to do with the assist. So you'll notice that she tries to call an assist here with Iron Man, or using the Iron Man assist, and he kind of gets stuffed out. But she quickly, let me speed it back up to normal. She calls the assist again, and she does it from the air. So let's go ahead and slow it back down. And again, one of the things that I mentioned that I wasn't the biggest fan of was air assists. I didn't like air assists in the game. They felt generic. They felt, you know, just boring, honestly, and I didn't really like the utility of it. And when you would, if you were in the air and you called an assist, you just always got like this generic air assist. However, now you see she's in the air, she calls Iron Man, and she gets the beam assist. This is something so simple that if you've played these types of games before, you're used to being able to do, and you couldn't do it before, where she jumps over magic, calls assist, and kind of sandwiches her. This is something that like you just could not do in the game before, because you would just get a completely different assist. So I'm very happy to see that they've made this change. And again, it might seem small to some of y'all, but I think this makes the game very different. So I'm personally pretty happy about that. I think there's also like a little bit of like bonus footage or gameplay that came out somewhere of magic. Let me see if I can find that real quick, because there's also a couple of things that we can learn from that. Also, another thing worth noting here, speaking of gameplay, looks like Danger's got like the Eno or like Morgan style dash. You see when she moves forward, she kind of like starts floating upward, kind of like Morgan. So she's probably going to be a mix-up set play monster, on top of being this very clearly annoying zoner who just throws stuff all over the screen. So pray to God that you don't have a losing matchup against zoners in this game if you're fighting Danger, because man, that looks like it's going to be a pain to deal with. But anyway, let me see if I can find this other gameplay that people mentioned that I haven't seen. Okay, so I can't find like the actual direct source, but I did find this tweet that has what I was looking for. And as you can see in the tweet, it says neutral assists are now usable during combos and block strings in Marvel Tokon, which we kind of already figured out through the gameplay that we've seen, but we didn't really see it in a block string yet. But PlayStation dropped a sort of extended look at the new character behind the scene portion of the state of play. In it, we can see Danger applying pressure in the corner, during which it's now confirmed you're able to call your neutral assist during block stun. Combined with the Unbreakable X-Men trailer, in which we saw characters called grounded assist in the air, and we're looking to have some good changes for the future. And so if we go ahead and play the gameplay, you can see block string, calls Miss Marvel assist, and gets her actual, again, like regular neutral assist as opposed to the generic one. So yeah, just further evidence that they did in fact just straight up change how assist calling works in this game. Whether or not they removed air assist completely, or if there's a new system in place, or different inputs that you can get access to the generic one versus the more unique ones, I guess we don't really know. Time will tell. But I am definitely a fan of making this change however it is that they've made it. Well, maybe I will not like something about how they did it. Who knows for sure? But I'm glad that this is now an option, no matter what. You know what I mean? So yeah, there's that. I think that's pretty much everything for the most part. I somehow dragged this video on for even longer than I thought it was going to be, but y'all know me, Yap Lord McGee. So anyway, but that's pretty much it. It looks like things are trending in the right direction for Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls. And I'm looking forward to seeing more, man. More of the roster, more of the gameplay. I don't know if we're going to get another beta before the game officially releases later this year on August 6th, but just know that I will definitely be picking the game up, and I'll probably be getting the deluxe edition or the ultimate edition, whatever it's called, because I need all of that. I need all of that. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you haven't already so you can stay tuned for all that content that I'm bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have today. And remember, nothing can happen to you from the bad. Later.